Former Army Ranger Kris Paronto was a key player in the rescue mission in Benghazi back in 2012. He says certain principles that helped him back then can help you too. Take a look.
My name's Kris Paronto. Call sign was Tonto. I was in the U.S. Army. I was with the 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment.
Kris was one of 6 American security operators who fought terrorists that attacked the U.S. State Department and a nearby CIA annex in Benghazi, Libya. He says he and his team followed ideals that made them stronger, more disciplined, and more confident on the field. In his book, The Ranger Way, he shares how the principles that helped him succeed on the battlefield will also help you succeed in life.
Well, Kris joins me now, and thanks for being here.
Sure.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Well, pleasure's mine again, as usual.
Let's get right into the book, The Ranger Way. You say that we need a battle plan, that if you don't have a battle plan, you're not going to make it. Why do you say that?
You know, really what that is, that's structure. That's how you motivate yourself to move to whatever goal you have at the end of the rainbow there, per se. The battle plan, though, is something that you learn over time. It's something you learn from other people. It's something you learn from your mentors, but it's also something you learn from failures, and you develop it. And it's ever changing. People get locked into, and I see that now more, especially with the millennials nowadays. You get locked into one way of doing things, and if it doesn't go that way, you stop and you quit. You can't do that. You have to figure out a way to get around or over or through an obstacle that may lie ahead of you.
No battle plan survives contact with the enemy.
Never. And again, it's always adjustable. Never one, and we have something in the Rangers, with something the military says too, that you will never, your plan that you developed right at the beginning, it will never go according to that plan. It's always going to be ever changing. You have to be able to adjust to it.
How do you construct one? Because I think a lot of people say, okay, I get the idea. Let's have a battle plan. Let's have a plan going forward.
Yep.
How do you do it?
Well, now I'm a bit older now. I'm 46, so now it's easy. Now I've been through enough life experiences that when I hit an obstacle or come into something that maybe a crisis situation or just something even normal in life's daily routine, I've been through that before, or I've gone through a crisis situation before where I know what skill set I need to pull from. So, for example, especially even that night in Benghazi, and I go back to Benghazi quite a bit during the book just to relate to other things within the book. When adrenaline comes up, when you start feeling that situation where you get that fight or flight response, I know what that feeling is. So now I know how to deal with it. I know to push that energy out to my hands, out to extremity. Exactly, how to get it out to where
rejoice in it, because it's going to make you better.
And the rejoice is a perfect word, because I was having fun that night. Because I was accepted the fact that God had me in that position. So I was able to really take in everything. And we call going into the flow. You're able to get those blinders off. Those blinders come out, and you're able to see everything. Because you are rejoicing in the fact that, oh my gosh, I'm in this situation that nobody really gets to be into. But that can go back to just your normal daily routine too. Just, hey, I'm in a situation, I have a flat tire. Okay, I know how to handle this thing. I'm not going to panic. Let's get it done, fix it, let's get to work. It can be as simple as that to as monumental as seeing some mortars hit and kill your friends. And how do you deal with that?
How do you deal with the disappointment? Because for you, here you are, and you're putting your life on the line, and then at the end of all of that, you find out that you're out now.
Yeah.
And you're out specifically because you put your life on the line.
You know, you always have to know. I had a good upbringing. I'm not going to say I didn't. I had a strong father and a strong mother that always said, hey, you can always make lemonade out of lemons. Find the positives out of what took place that night. Now, I believe initially I was upset. I was. And you start seeing the story being misconstrued, lied about, so forth, for agendas. Especially I started seeing the dirty side of politics, which I really didn't pay attention much to the first 18 years of me serving. So what I did initially is I tried to find a positive out of it. What do I do? Well, I'm going to go back and be with my buddies. I went back to Yemen. I redeployed because that's where I enjoyed being. I found something that made me happy, and that's what you should always do. Find something that makes you happy to stay positive. And then as my mind cleared and the anger started to subside and I could be more constructive, that's when the team and myself said, hey, you know what? We need to do the right thing. What is the right thing here? And that is telling the truth. And we knew we'd suffer some consequences for it, but in the long run, as long as you're doing the right thing, and I always say this, and I did say this, it's in the movie, I said it. As long as you're doing the right thing, God will take care of you. And he has. And he's put me on that path, the path that I needed to go on. Even though initially I didn't see it, it took a little while for me to figure that out. But have faith, and you eventually get on that path that you need to be on.
Can I ask you a political question?
Yes, sir.
You know, you saw what
yes.
is, I guess, the underbelly of politics.
Yes, sir.
Where things are spun into a different way,
yes, sir,
in order to advance a political agenda. Do you see that so dominant in our culture today? Is there a way for us to get out of that?
It's even worse now. They do spin it to a way that is not truthful. I mean, Benghazi is a perfect example. I mean, it spun from a video. No, it didn't. And it didn't get out. The truth didn't come out until we actually started stating that. There's been one gentleman there that has been very good to me. That's Mr. Tapper. And I'll put him out because he's helped. But and I don't want
good everywhere.
And you have to try to find. But I have not been happy with the media and how it does spin to political agendas. And it's difficult because.
Why do you think they do that?
Well, it's a way to control. It's a way to regulate society. It's a way to push people in a certain direction. And it's a way to divide. And when it comes down to it.
Let me go back to the original question. How do we get through that? Because I see so much that is trying to serve a political agenda, that how the America I grew up with is the America that says, let's do the right thing. How does that triumph in this?
First of all, you have to look in yourself and you have to have some integrity. You have to say, is this, first of all, be truthful. Is this the truth? Is it a half-truth? Well, then it's not the truth. Is it violating integrity? Is it violating what I was raised with, which me personally I was raised in faith? Is it violating any of the commandments that you may have out there? If it is, well, then, it's not the right thing. Shouldn't be telling it. But when it comes right down to it, and I've said it before, turn it off. Don't watch. We have the choice. We don't have to put the news on. You don't have to watch all the news. Get back into society, get back into yourself, become creative thinkers again. We've lost a lot of that creative thinking because we are so spoon-fed with social media. And yeah, I'm with it too. I have to be on social media too. The public figure stuff, believe me, I despise it, but I have to be in it. But sometimes you just have to say, you know what, it's time. Let's turn the TV off. Let's go outside. Let's go enjoy the beach. Let's go run. And I do that immensely, run all the time. And just clarity, get some clarity. And then if you want to, turn it back on, take it with a grain of salt, but then also look at the other parts. If you're going to watch CNN, you're going to watch Fox. And the same thing, you're going to watch Fox and you go watch MSNBC, get all sides so you can make a creative decision. Use a creative, not creative decision, but use your creative thinking skills to make a decision. And it's a well-informed decision. It's not a one-sided decision. And I think if more people would do that, and Charlotte Airport, great example. When you go into Charlotte Airport and you go in the American Airlines Club there, they have Fox on one side and they have CNN on the other. That's great because people can at least see both sides and then they can make a well-informed decision.
That's a great answer. Get as many viewpoints as you can.
You have to.
And I encourage people to go outside the United States. Go get a viewpoint from Brazil. Sure. Go get a viewpoint from Southeast Asia.
And you're in Israel, and that's fantastic. In the middle, go to the Middle East. I love being overseas because you get back to the States and you're like, wow, we have a remarkable country here. We are so blessed to be in the greatest nation in the world because you get to see other facets of society. Not that they're bad, it's just that we really do have a melting pot here. And we accept so many different ethnicities and religions. And even though we think we have diversity here, oh, believe me, and you've seen it firsthand too. When you go overseas,
we've got diversity here, but there's a big wide world.
It is.
We can talk a long time, but I've got to promo your book, The Ranger Way. Kris's book is Living the Code on and off the battlefield. It's available wherever books are sold. And last week, we shared Kris's entire story on Benghazi in his 13 hours. If you missed that, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page, 700 Club Interactive on there, and you can watch it yourself.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me again, sir. It's an honor. Okay. It's an honor.